Two very tough opponents. Jacksonville, very great defensive team, and like they do a lot of good things on the offensive end. So they're very well respected, and we know UNF like they always, regardless of like last year they was dealing with a couple injuries, but even so, like just how they operate as a program, they're always well respected just because you know they're going to give their all and they're very talented on both ends of the floor. So you got to be prepared for both of these games. There's going to be probably two very different games, but going to be tough.
Yeah, I think we're super excited. You don't get to play them both at once, so we're focused on the first one against Jacksonville. Have a great practice today, and just go from there.
Curious what it seems to be about the trip down to North Florida to the Jacksonville area. That always seems to bring out the best in opponents and give you guys some tough games.
I would say, like I said, both of those teams are really, really good, and they stick to their principles on both ends of the floor, and it's really hard to get those teams rattled. And they're a little mature, so like the maturity on that team, they help like lift each other up when other teams go on runs, and it's very hostile environments. Like their fan base does a great job of like keeping those gyms energized. In Jacksonville, like it gets rowdy in there, so I would say that's probably it.
It's really good. Well said.
What makes it so difficult to play at Jacksonville? I mean, they've won 20-some-odd games in a row at home and haven't lost at home under their two-year head coach. You guys beat them handily here at Liberty Arena, then went down there and lost. What makes them so difficult to play on their own court?
Yeah, I think they have a really good culture. Like they're defensive minded, similar to us, and when you guard, it's always going to be a tough game, and ultimately they're a really well respected opponent, like Darius said, and road wins are tough no matter who you play in conference too. So we're mindful of that, and super excited at the opportunity at hand.
I know UNF's the second team on this trip, but what makes playing at UNF Arena so difficult, especially against the Ospreys? I know you guys have 3 wins there in the ASUN tournament during that COVID year, but when you play them, they seem to have a number.
Like offensively, they run like a bunch of great stuff, and they have a bunch of talented players. And like similar to Jacksonville, that environment in there, it gets rowdy, and like their fans and their student base is very passionate. The players are very passionate. They're very disciplined. You can tell they love playing for their head coach. So you combine all of that, it's always going to be super tough. And like Kyle alluded to, road games in the conference are always hard. So you add all that in one. Like you got to bring your A game for sure.
You know, on that theme with the road games, you guys had a lot of success at home this year, only 1 loss. But then true road games, I think it's 1 and 3. It's a little bit better if you factor in the neutral games as well. Is there something about playing on the road that's been a hiccup for you guys this year, or do you feel like you're better poised at this point to go handle back-to-back on the road? Both of you.
Yeah, I don't think we really look at it like that. I think we played 3 really good teams on the road. I know EKU being the most recent in conference, and then Oral Roberts and Alabama's pretty good too. So you can't really look at it like that. You just got to it's another game, another opportunity, and we're all playing for each other. So the crowd really doesn't affect us that much, but. Super excited to get 2 chances this trip and take care of the first one.
And kind of like Kyle said, are you excited, Darius, to be able to have back-to-back opportunities here, especially in conference on the road, to show you guys, not to show, but just to go ahead and get a couple road wins here potentially?
For sure. Honestly, the road trips are extremely fun. Just from like the camaraderie off the court, like we're always having fun playing cards, doing something. So the road trips are always spectacular. So like I think I'm looking forward to that most. And obviously we need to like go in there very well prepared and handle our business. But I think the focus point is just knocking out this practice, make sure we have really good practices leading up, and making sure we're enjoying like spending time with one another, because I guess it's more magnified in my situation or Kyle's situation. But like it's towards the tail end of the season, so like the games are winding down. So just making sure like you're enjoying your college experience while also putting in the work and pursuing something bigger than yourself.
Darius, when Coach McGhee on Saturday said your 32 is probably the quietest he's ever been around, is that more a reflection that you don't need to score 32 a night like you did last year in order to win because of how much more complete this team is from a scoring standpoint?
Probably so. And like just the game itself was so fun. Like I didn't even care about the 32 points, didn't know about it until after the game, and like I started to see the media stuff. But like you can just tell like the energy and like the atmosphere of the game, like that was what was important. So like I don't think anyone really cared about how many points it was. Like, to see Zay slide across the floor like 10 feet and see like the whole arena go crazy, and you see the bench like they're all like enthusiastic and the players on the court, like that moment sticks out most to me from that game than anything else.
Yeah.
Darius, you tied J.J. Redick the other night. You passed Curtis Staples. You passed Steph Curry this year. I mean, just elite names in the game. Has it hit you yet? Do you think about, like, man, or could you have imagined, when you started playing basketball, did you be here in this spot?
Definitely not. Like, I think from a respect standpoint, like, obviously when you see your name get mentioned in the mix with those guys, you automatically, like, respect their body of work, and you have to, when I say respect, you have to do your homework and understand how those guys got it done. And the only one I was really able to watch is probably Steph and JJ, just because I'm a little young. But to know how they got it done and then, like, be lucky enough to be mentioned is, like, incredible. But I don't think I really put too much time into it yet. But, like, there for sure been, like, a quick 5 to 10 seconds, like, wow. Like, who would have thought?
Do you get a chance to talk to Antoine Davis at all?
Like, here and there on social media. Like, me, him, Jordan Walker, Jalen Cone, like the smaller guards in college basketball, just because it's really hard to get it done at this size. So it's an automatic, like, mutual respect, kind of like this quote-unquote brotherhood of, like, the little guards that's getting it done, because, like, it's amazing because we all get it done in very much different ways. You look at Kieh Clark at Virginia, like the guard who just graduated, I think, from Richmond, who led NCAA in steals. Like, you look at all these guards who are similar in size, but their games are so much different. And we're all having an impact on the game, so it's kind of like a thing of beauty.
Kyle, I noticed the other night that I think it was the North Alabama game. There were a lot of times in the first half you guys were scoring, and Darius wouldn't even touch the ball on possessions. We've talked about the depth and the multiple weapons you guys have. Is some of that coming from Coach McGhee? He talks about giving you guys freedom, wanting you to play in freedom. Is it the defenses that they're throwing at you? Is it a combination? Could you just kind of speak to that?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a combination, right? Like, the way teams play Darius, sometimes it's difficult to get him the ball, but you can penalize them for it, and then hopefully they have to change their coverage a little bit. And when Shai has a night like that, and I think he ended up with 27 or so, and it was almost just really cool to see him go. And it's like combination of both for sure.
Do you notice, like, when a night like Shiloh had on Thursday, that guy's hot, all right, we're going to try to get him the ball more, or is it more just you run your offensive sets and the opportunity presents itself and you trust him?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's like Shiloh did a great job of letting the game come to him and made the right play. Like, I think we got a group of guys that are like that, and nobody's calling for the ball, asking for an ISO or anything like that, and it just happens. And it was great to see Shai capitalize and make the most of it.